Welcome, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. It's January 3rd. I'm Charissa Sims, live event host for Humanities Team, a 501c3 nonprofit organization whose mission is to make conscious living pervasive worldwide by 2040. And I am coming to you live near Boulder, Colorado. And we're going to be talking about making 2024 the best year ever. Now, originally, we had a program called Synergizing Change with Dr. Kurt Johnson, Diane Williams, and Reverend Deborah Moldow. And we're going to be rescheduling that event with evolutionary leaders to sometime in February. So stay tuned, watch your emails for the next date on that. And I'm excited to enter this new year together with Heather Gray. She's a live event host, and Abbie Johnson, one of our humanities team members. So for today, this is for you. You can share your dreams, resolutions, and we're going to talk about different courses on the Humanities Stream platform to help us make our dreams a reality. So we're going to go into our favorite streaming content as well as exciting new content we have planned for 2024. I want to welcome all the Humanities Stream Plus members that are here in the green room with us. Hi, thanks for being here. And also welcome the Sign Network members. If you're watching from our website or Humanities Team social media, welcome everyone. This live event is for you. So put in your questions and comments. You can even come on camera if you'd like, raise your hand, and you can ask your question usually in the first half of the program, in the first 30 or 40 minutes. And feel free to also post in the chat, and we can answer your questions by Heather, Abbie, or myself. So I'm going to introduce Heather. She is amazing. She is a live event host for Humanities Team and also is a functional diagnostic nutritionist and bioenergetic practitioner specializing in supporting clients with chronic and complex illnesses such as Lyme disease and autoimmune diseases. With over 27 years of personal experience, she understands the struggles of living with these conditions and is dedicated to helping others find relief. Her personalized approach as a practitioner, podcast host, and author has helped countless clients reduce inflammation in the body and brain, improve gut health, and achieve optimal wellness. Wow, can't we all use that in 2024? We're so blessed to have you here today. She helps her clients get to the root cause of their symptoms and take control of their health journey. Heather's approach is not only effective, but also empowering. Don't let chronic illness control your life. You can achieve the health and vitality you deserve. Welcome,
Woohoo.
Heather.
Thanks.
Woohoo!
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and all of you do deserve it. So really tune in, take a deep breath, feel that self-worth within you. You deserve to have the best year ever, and open your eyes. And I wanted to introduce Abbie. Abbie Johnson is an executive assistant to Humanities Team, originally from Fairbanks, Alaska. And just as a side note, she's my Alaska soul sister. We're both from Alaska and we work at the same company. It's really wonderful. Prior to working with us, she was an assistant at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Wow, that's incredible. I'm sorry, I'm just learning about you, Abbie. And a project coordinator for China and Asian Pacific operations at Starbucks. Abbie holds a degree in theater and loves exploring the foothills of Denver with her two rescue dogs. Spiritual conversations make her heart sing, and she considers her role with Humanities Team a higher calling to be of service to the planet. Welcome, Abbie.
Thank you, Charissa. It's just delightful to be here with you and Heather and our Humanities Team community. I am delighted to be entering this new year with the company of all of you here.
Oh, yes, yes. And Heather, I thought Heather could introduce me for a moment. Do you want to do that?
Absolutely. Charissa Sims is a speaker, health and energy coach, workshop leader, and host of the Zen Success Show, helping people move from force to flow, integrating spirituality into business, relationships, and health. She's the best-selling author of Change Your Energy, Change Your Life, 10 Ways to Change Your Energy Now, and the author of numerous children's books. After being diagnosed with cancer, she was able to heal her body without Western medicine in 2021. Woohoo! And from a traditional professor at University of Southern California to working with Amazon, Google, Fox, and more, she is now on a mission to help heal the world and inspire others that they can heal themselves as well. Beautiful. Absolutely. We all have this in us to heal, right? Like every single one of us.
And I love we're just learning about each other for the first time. It's like because now I'm realizing how much in common I have with Heather as well, about healing our bodies from disease. So, Abbie, did you have a comment about that?
Oh, I just think that we all have so much power inside of ourselves. We are unlimited, much like the universe, because we are part of the universe. And that speaks to me so deeply. We are taught to think otherwise. And as I have matured, I'm becoming to be much more in alignment with myself and the true uh, nature of my being, if you will. Yeah.
Can I get an amen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
And why is that forest behind you so inspiring?
Because nature is my temple.
Mm.
I love the planet that we are part of, and I feel most at ease and peace when I am out with my natural environment. So I this is my little temple that I have behind me.
I love it. I love nature as well. And I was talking about nature in my setting intentions with guided meditation class that I do every month. Just a couple days ago, I did it, January 1st, because someone was asking about abundance. And I was talking about nature and how we can replicate nature and be in alignment with it and have more abundance. Welcome, Andy. So happy to see you. Okay, I'll introduce Andy in just a moment. But I just wanted to talk a little bit more about my course. What I do is it's on the Humanities Stream platform and it's for members. So I highly encourage all of you to join for this year. I look at the energy of the day and month. I cite Mayan cosmology and the gene keys. And so attend every month and you can watch the replays because everyone shares their intentions, everyone that wants to. And there have been some incredible synchronicities occurring. Like, for example, someone wanted to start a wellness retreat center. And there was actually someone on the same call that had a center and had it for a long time. And so they connected and he was happy to mentor them. And it's just a powerful, sacred place to share and connect with the community. So it's not just about me talking and sharing, okay, this is a good time to manifest, or this is a good time to slow down a little bit and really take stock of what you're doing, really release and become someone new. It's really about connecting with others. So a few other things I wanted to mention about Humanities Stream platform that are just so amazing. We have also Kevin Schoninger and Stephen Alter's weekly Raising Our Vibration meditation practice and monthly live sound songs with Jonathan and Andy Goldman. And, meditation and sound baths are so incredible. There's so much research to show the healing benefits of sound. And also, when we meditate together, it aligns us with divine timing, synchronicities in your life, and you can just manifest even faster. So at this point, I wanted to introduce Andy Gustke. Welcome, Andy.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for excusing my tardiness. I feel very grateful to be here. I'm very excited to share what I'm excited for in the new year and what I'm excited to be tapping into from our stream library and all of the lovely programming that we have coming up. And I just feel very grateful to be here with you all.
Yes, yes. And so what are some of the things that you're most excited about coming up in this 2024 year?
Were you asking that of Andy?
Yeah, Andy, I'm sorry. Andy, yeah, what are you most excited about?
I am really just excited for kind of the long kind of arc of humanities team for the year. I'm feeling very excited about things that are coming up. I'm not sure if you've already mentioned it, but particularly I feel really called by Ting Ting Guan's new free program, Harnessing Your Life Force Energy. I have been really wanting to tap into a really positive like movement practice, something that really just feels gentle and loving, but also like motivating. I just like, I think it's really a great synchronicity that it like is coming about right around the first of the year. I feel really excited about that. And I'm just excited for a year of growth, of just kind of exploring what's available. Yeah, it's kind of like now I'm like trying to like condense it down. There's a lot of really beautiful things coming up and happening. And this
Yeah, that's wonderful. You're freezing a little bit, but that's okay. You got your message across, and we felt the energy of it. So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Andy. And at this point, Jim, I was wondering if our tech team could play a quick clip of the setting intentions of my monthly class that I sent. Does anyone have a clip they could play real quick? Think about, okay, well, how do I need to change? Who do I need to be? So it's really about becoming that with what you want. So if you are wanting to find love, I don't know why this is coming up. Love is coming up a lot. So if you're wanting to find that, how are you vibrating? Do you love yourself? Do you love all aspects of yourself? So if not, really dive deep into that and find something that you love about yourself and just magnify that more and more. And if not, look to others. What is it that you love about me? And that might be a hard question, but maybe you can ask a good friend and then start to magnify that aspect of yourself that others people love about you. Oh, I love that you're so giving or that you're a good cook. And maybe you didn't even realize that because it comes so natural. Start to just feel that in your own being, in your body. So a lot of setting intentions and manifesting is also about feeling it. Jim, I appreciate that. So that just gives you a little taste of, I do a little bit of workshop and then I do a guided meditation to help you embody the intentions in your life. Now, Andy brought up Ting Ting, and I am also excited. I have actually already started following Ting Ting and doing some of her practices because I feel so aligned with it. Just like you said, Andy, her method is called the Guanjing method. It's a unique method. And her masterclass is called Enter the Chi, and it's starting this month, January 18th. And we'll be introducing her January 9th on Harness Your Life Force Energy with Ting Ting Guan. And it's really all about flow and being abundant through movement. And if you go back to one of the live events we did with Sue Frederick, she's a sacred numerologist. We talked about the energies of this year of 2024 being an 8-year And I feel like 8 really goes along with Guanjing's practice of getting in the divine feminine and the flow of abundance in your life. So it's about embodying it. So I'm super excited. I can't believe it. This is like so profound to me because I love yoga and I love dance. And it's like bringing the best of both worlds together. Does anyone else have anything to say about Ting Ting and her course, Abbie or Heather?
Well, I'm excited about taking the class because I've been looking for something that helps to activate my energy in a positive way. I tend to get stressed out and anxious, and breathing helps, meditation helps, but something moving and on my feet, I think, to ground me is something I really need. And then I think Ting Ting's class is more than movement. There's a whole aspect of it that's very spiritual, and certainly I could use more guidance in my life. I love to feel that I'm connected to everything. However, I don't always know what to do with that energy. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, that's great. Heather, did you have anything to add about that?
I'm not really familiar with her work as of right now. And though anything that's getting back to some of the basics, which I think is the human beings that we are today have forgotten just how important movement is, light is, breath is, so getting back to those foundations and really tapping in, just like Abbie at the beginning talked about nature, all these things are needed to be a whole, healthy, spiritual, physical person. So I think it's exciting, and I love all these new faces that are really blowing up these days and bringing that stuff into more mainstream practices.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for saying that. I agree. And just remember, if there's any questions, we would love to hear from you. So we do have one in the chat right now, and it's from Guranam. Does Humanities Team take an active role in networking and promoting its members' aligned projects and organization? Well, that's a really good question. I'm a community connector and the author of a series of books, and you can look in the chat for the books. And the messages are from the universe to help lift the consciousness of all. Well, maybe Andy could answer that question since she's our communications manager. Would you like to field that question from Guranam?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's like sparking. I just got a notification my internet connection is unstable. I apologize if I'm freezing. Um,
Oh, bummer.
We're on the edge of our
we
seat.
I know,
connecting our
right?
members,
Well,
and
There she is.
especially if
okay, start over, Andy.
no. I'm
Okay.
gonna turn off my video. I apologize.
Okay, yeah, at least we'll hear you. Perfect.
Yes, you can hear me and look at my picture on my screen. But yeah, no, we definitely like to try and connect people as much as possible. I'm having like a little spark go of like, we definitely would be lovely to have a better way to have field conversation between stream members and sharing like physical hard copy kind of programming. But one thing that we definitely are very excited about is if you are a Stream Plus member and you are a content creator yourself, if you are making transformational programming, please reach out to us because we would be very interested in talking with you about putting it on the platform. Because honestly, like we are a community and a lot of the creators are Stream Plus members themselves. Like we have 2 lovely ones right here, right now. So yeah, absolutely. We want to work to make sure we are creating a network where people can find people that are doing the same work as them that are going to expand and create more opportunity.
That's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that. And I just want to go back to Ting Ting's masterclass because that's going to be coming up soon. Jim, do you have a clip that you can play to give people a little taste of Ting Ting and her magic?
Claim each part of your body as an altar space for manifestation. Claim your fingertips to your tippy toes. Claim the parts that you love and the parts that you wish to love more. Claim your freckles, your wrinkles, and your scars. Claim your bones, your muscles, your organs, and blood. It is all yours. We each have a body, but how many of us are embodied? How often do we see the vessel of flesh and bone as a perfect space of divine creation? What happens when we bring our soul's intention and attention into these places? Imagine each cell of your being having the power to manifest and move from that place. The adornments of your altar are not jewels or gold, but they are your breath and spirit. They need not be seen. They are embodied and felt. Claim the sacred space within you.
And with that, claim the sacred space within you. How inspiring is that? I hope you enjoyed that little taste.
I want to dance now.
I know. Yeah. Feel free. Feel free to move with that. And I just also wanted to say, don't worry if you feel like you can't follow along. There's movements that she modifies for people who have like maybe physical limitations. So, just being in the energy and the space of it, because she talks about different spiritual principles too. It's not, like Abbie said, it's not just about the movement. It's about embodying spirituality. So highly encourage you all to sign up for that. And Jim, you have the link is there at the bottom. So go ahead and click on the link and sign up for that class. And then it will start on Tuesday. So I wanted to hand it over to Heather. And maybe you could talk about your courses, because I know you are also a Humanities Stream Plus provider and have some incredible courses on cooking and nutrition. So what are some things that we can do to be more healthy with our food and our diet? What are some things we can do in 2024? And then you can share about your course too.
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many things. That's why I created a course. But I have a deep, deep passion for this work because it was so frustrating through my own health journey, especially with 3 autoimmune diseases. And if you haven't been told that autoimmune diseases are a lifestyle disease and that can be reversed, then, let me be the first one to plant that seed, because traditional Western medicine isn't teaching that concept. And it wasn't until I almost thought I was going to die by following their medications and just slapping Band-Aids on symptoms that I became a functional practitioner. And then I've gone deeper into the energetic practitioner and dug deeper into trauma. But it's always been so frustrating because so many folks, especially if they have a disease like cancer, right, or Lyme disease, they're focused on treatment. But if they go and eat McDonald's, right, and inflame their gut and inflame their brain after they've received their treatment, right, they're only going to heal, a short percentage, and their chances of relapsing are 10 times higher afterwards. And it's just so frustrating to me that, doctors actually, I've many practitioners who have become functional practitioners who say they literally get one 8-hour day in their whole doctorate career talking about nutrition, the very fuel that makes our body run. And so it was very frustrating to me to, people, oh, my doctor said diet didn't matter. And, my head just explodes. And so I decided to make the cooking course. And as we'll see a clip, and I looks like I'm in my gym clothes because I don't like to waste food, right? So I was just gonna make it real, right? So there was no like massive production or anything. It's just me in the kitchen teaching some foundations about health. And then I've got a smaller mini course on there, Discovering Health, which goes through all the foundations of health. So sleep, diet, stress reduction, supplementation. and a little bit more about food, because all these things, so if you're not sleeping well, right, you can't supplement your way out of not sleeping well. Same thing with exercise. You can't supplement your way out of not exercising or a bad diet. And so that's where we start with. Even a lot of functional practitioners, you'll leave an acupuncturist office sometimes with $200 worth of supplements, right? But they still haven't discussed on, how are you sleeping? Are you pooping daily? What's your stress level like all these basics. And so I really, really love to get back to the foundations of, and it's funny because some people are like, this is too easy, this is, and they dismiss it, but it's just like, there's so much power in breath. There's so much power in intention and mindset. There's so much power in, and that's really what I love to get back to.
Oh, thank you. Andy put the links in the chat here, and Real Cooking for Real Life, Discovering Health, and then my class on setting intentions. So, what was coming to me, Heather, was what they serve in hospitals.
Oh my God, don't get me started.
Okay. I mean, not to judge anyone if they are work in a hospital, but I have worked in a hospital, and many people that I've known, family members, and I just think the same thing that you said. How can they heal on Jell-O and this awful food? And I think it's just really interesting, because I think it needs a complete overhaul if they really want people to heal.
Absolutely.
So,
It's something I
what do
say
you think
often,
about that?
If you don't recognize an ingredient, neither does your body, right? So anytime you start, if that's the one thing that you can learn right now, start reading ingredient labels and start eating more whole foods into your life. Like, that's going to be a huge game changer. And if you are reading labels and it's got more than 6 syllables, you can't pronounce it, you have no idea what it is, chances are your body doesn't recognize it either. And then it's going to cause an inflammatory response in your body, causing to autoimmune, leaky gut, brain fog, anxiety, depression, the list goes on and on and on. So that's usually where I'll start with folks, is just start recognizing what it is you're eating, because we've become so disconnected from our food. And if I remember correctly, you're a vegetarian or vegan, but, and I'm not saying like everybody should eat meat. Everyone is different. And though, if people even realized where their meat was coming from, right, things could change huge. And so that's what in the cooking course, it's not just about cooking food delicious, but it's about what tools to use, right? Because so many things like forever chemicals and Teflon and what it's done to the planet, what it's done to human beings, to, if you are going to eat meat, eating something more, grass-fed, pasture-raised, local, if you can, get to know your farmers, get to know these animals and how they were raised, right? Because if people actually knew how confinement animals are treated, what they're fed, like, it's absolutely disgusting. And the whole operation needs to be redone. But there's, small steps that you can make now, and you can vote with your dollars, right? Every time you go and spend money at a farmer's market or with a CSA, or, food that's grass-fed, pasture-raised, over the conventional stuff, that's how we're going to make things change. And so, yeah, I love, we picked out a short clip this morning, just kind of talking a little bit.
Oh
about
yeah,
this.
go ahead. Play that clip.
This morning, I'm just going to do a little explanation on some of my favorite tools and why. Because not only am I teaching you how to cook for taste, but I'm teaching you how to cook for nutrition and for health, and lower toxins, and also lower your carbon footprint on this world. So many folks get stuck in single-use products, and I'm gonna try to show you that there's a better way. So let's raise the consciousness of the kitchen. We're going to start off with, so as we get going into the cooking series, you'll see me use a lot of these different things, but I didn't want to stop and explain each one of them in the middle of the cooking, so I thought we would do it now. So this is probably my favoriteest tool in the kitchen right now. I just found it about 2 years ago, and I'm not sure how I lived without it. It's my Instapot. So I mentioned this in another one, but Dr. Tom O'Brien, who's like king of healing the gut and autoimmune stuff, talks about like the perfect plate. And the perfect plate for everybody's going to look a little differently, because we are differently. I'm built differently. But I really like to have a root vegetable, a green vegetable, and a protein. And that's what our plates consist of. And my husband has lost over 65 pounds. I've lost now over, I think, around 45 pounds, eating this way. So not like crazy calorie restriction, not insane amounts of time in the gym, but just this balanced, beautiful, whole real food, right? And so the Instapot is great for the root vegetable, rutabagas, turnips, parsnips, beets. I don't do potatoes in here. Cabbage is really great in here too. So I'll do the bigger, long stuff in here while I cook my protein in my air fryer. This can get a little trickier. So when you're looking for a quality air fryer, you're going to want to look for something that's stainless steel and or ceramic coated.
Two great tools there, Heather. The air fryer and the Instapot. They're kind of replacing the stove.
20 minutes, man. 20
Super
minutes.
convenient, super fast. I love both of those tools.
Exactly. You don't have to, a lot of us have like this old 1930s, 40s of the woman slaving away all day in the kitchen. And I think that's why a lot of people stay away from the kitchen. And it was funny to me how many of my clients that were coming to me that didn't know how to cook. And I was like, crap, like I gotta fix this because I can't get them healthy if they're not eating real food, if they're not cooking, if they're not excited about experimenting in the kitchen. So like I said, nutrition and the foundational stuff is just really what makes my heart sing, and getting people, to wake up and understand the connection between real whole food and just how dead and toxic a lot of this other stuff is on the shelf.
Yeah, that's so amazing. What do you think about processed food?
Absolutely not. Like,
Avoid the aisle.
Avoid it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They say the longer the shelf life, the shorter your shelf life. Right. So again, it goes back to that. If you don't recognize an ingredient, and most of those processed foods are processed with, artificial flavorings and shelf stabilization stuff so that it can stay longer on the shelves. All that stuff leads to leaky gut, leads to inflammation. All these issues that we have, a lot of them with anxiety and depression. It's amazing how when I've gotten people off soda, off processed food, off fast food, and got them eating a real whole diet, how quickly, like within 2 weeks. Usually I do a lot of food sensitivity testing as well, because that's kind of like low hanging fruit. If I know what their body's reacting to and I can just remove that barrier off the body, lower the inflammation, in 2 weeks, people are losing weight, migraines are gone, like they can sleep at night, their moods are more stable. Like I've had a couple testimonials, they're like, it was like magic. And it's not magic. It's just getting back to the basics.
That's so wonderful. I was just wondering if anyone from our audience has any questions for Heather. I mean, she's such an expert in nutrition and lifestyle and cooking. Yeah, so feel free to raise your hand or put a question in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And
I'm actually
Heather,
curious about Heather's stance on microwave ovens.
Oh, I haven't used one in over 20 years.
That's
Like
what I
when
thought.
we moved into this house, because we're renting, we moved the microwave out into the garage.
What do microwaves do to your food? Can you explain that a little bit?
It's
of
in
what
the word when you
life
talk
of it?
about nuking your meal, right? Like you're nuking it. You're actually changing the properties of the protein again to the point where it denatures food. So now all the wonderful, delicious properties. So you got a like beautiful bowl of broccoli and then you shove it in that microwave. You're nuking your food. There's a beautiful experiment that I've seen of people taking plants and nuking water and watering one set of plants with that microwaved water compared to the other water, and those other plants died. Like you're changing too much of the chemical structure of the food itself and denaturing it, and again causing inflammation. And inflammation, as we're starting to learn, inflammation in itself isn't bad. There's a place for it, but it's when you get too much inflammation is when it starts the disease process. And so any barrier that we can take off the body, microwave being one of them.
Nice.
wow, great question, Abbie.
Yeah, it's very political in my family, and we have microwavers and non-microwavers. So I'm kind of curious about it because I sit on the fence and I try not to use my microwave except for when I'm in a real hurry. And even then, and I still think about like, what am I doing to my food? Am I changing it? And
Well,
yeah.
that and most microwaves too, if you're using it, you need to stand far, far back from it because there've been so much studies showing how much radiation coming off the microwave. So if you're one of those that puts the foods in it and they're standing right in it and watching it churn, you're getting some of that radiation, you're getting nuked as well. And it was funny. So I mentioned Dr. Tom O'Brien, but he said something funny. He's like, he caught me. I thought I was gonna like have my head explode again, but he's like talking about the pluses of a microwave, and I'm like, there are no pluses of a microwave. And he says putting a sponge in the microwave, right, to disinfect it. Like I'm like, okay, but that's really the only good use of a microwave.
Oh, I never heard that about a sponge.
Yeah,
I sometimes run my sponges through the dishwasher.
me too.
So save them a little bit longer. What do you think about detoxing, Heather?
Oh my gosh. So my business name, I'm the Lime Boss. If I could rebrand, it would be like the Detox Diva or the Detox
Oh,
something because
I love it.
I mean, I talk about coffee enemas, I talk about sauna, skin brushing, castor oil packs, oil pulling until the cows come home, because really that's besides getting the toxins out of my food and out of my environment, the next step was then getting my body, because I have a lot of genetic mutations going on that doesn't allow my body to detox properly. That's why I had, uh, Lyme disease for over 27 years and mold toxicity and heavy metals and all these things.
Mm.
Once I started detoxing these things, total game changer. And I still will do a coffee enema once a week. I still do my sauna 3 to 4 times a week. I still do my castor oil pack 3 to 4 times a week. So detoxing, because we are not meant to live in this environment that we've got going on today. This is not conducive for human health. So all those folks who have issues with weight, who have issues with fertility, issues with mental health issues, don't beat yourself up. Like, this world is not meant for human health.
Well, thank you for that. Wow, that's amazing. I love all the ways we can detox. I haven't even heard of some of those. So we do have a question. Isabel asks, what do you think about frozen vegetables? And her friend claims that there's a study that there's more vitamins in frozen than fresh.
That's interesting. I've not heard that
I
study.
haven't either.
Yeah, I'll use them in a pinch if I need, but for the most part I do, because I mean, if you've looked at any of the research with like biophoton photography, and when they're actually, shooting the plants, with the pictures, and you can see the biophotons around it, it's because it's alive, it's because it's living. I'm not sure how frozen food compares with light, and really exactly best pecked from the garden, because it's full of living enzymes and light and life, because it's more than just the nutrients, it's about the light too, because we're light beings. So I don't think necessarily frozen veggies are bad, but I do prefer fresh, and I'm not sure about the vitamins, so I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for the question, Isabel. So, Heather, I was wondering if you could share some of your favorite master classes and content from Humanities Stream Plus.
Absolutely. So I've been working with Shamini Jane and Bruce Lipton. They've got a class out right now, Becoming a Conscious Creator. Another one of my favorite subjects, right? Because I was a victim for a very long time. It's easy to do when you were brought up in the type of abuse and addicts and stuff, and really becoming that conscious creator, that we have that ability to change our lives. And I love the conversation they have. They've got such a great friendship, and they just really play well off of each other. And so it's been really phenomenal. My other favorite is with Karen Noe and the Dyer sisters. That one's been amazing, because Jim and I are both learning to become more intuitive, more psychic ourselves. So we started watching their masterclass, and then also James Von Prague's class has been really, really awesome. Suzanne Giesman. So all three of them together, like, has been so much fun, of really honing in our different abilities and gifts, have been really incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing. I just finished the course becoming a conscious creator. So I went through it. And what I really love about Humanities Stream plus the members is there's watch parties. So Andy does a lot of watch parties, and you get to be with the community, but also there's mentoring. So there's these incredible opportunities to ask these masters questions. And it's so beautiful. I listened to the one where you hosted, Heather, and it was just amazing, talking about rainbows and so
Bruce's
cool.
favorite music. Like, that wasn't even a question I
That-
was actually going to bring in. I didn't think it was appropriate,
Oh,
but what it opened up afterwards in the discussion was just beautiful.
yeah, that's amazing. So Jim, do you have a clip for that Bruce and Shamani's class that we could share?
You might be very, very familiar with a age-old understanding that knowledge is power. And while people understand that, it's easier to maybe look at it this way, that a lack of knowledge is a lack of power. And then when you understand that, then I say, then any misperceptions that you hold about life actually represent a lack of knowledge. And through the sessions that I want to talk about, I want to give you the new knowledge. And there are two very fundamental misperceptions that the world has been programmed with that are completely wrong, and they take our power away. And the exciting idea is that we have a new renaissance in science, a renaissance where new information is coming in and challenging old beliefs that we used to teach for years and years. So, for example, there's a misperception that people have that biological processes employ Newtonian physics, and you go, oh my God, now what does that mean? Well, let me just make a simple explanation. With Newtonian physics, the universe was divided into two realms, a material physical realm and an invisible energetic realm. So we have two different realms. But according to the physics, the principles of that physics is that energy doesn't affect matter and matter doesn't necessarily affect energy. They're separate realms. So as a result, we look at the body as physical matter, and if we want to work with the body in medical schools, we understand that how do you work with a physical body? You use physical things such as surgery or pharmaceutical drugs. And this is how we treat a physical entity. However, in 1927, a new physics evolved, a new physics called quantum physics. And I just want to assure you a very important fact, that quantum physics is the most valid of all the sciences on planet Earth. The significance is this, that all the theoretical ideas that preceded the discoveries, almost every one of those theoretical ideas has now been proven to be true. So in that sense, there was a deep understanding of the new physics back in 1927. And back in that 1927 date, it was understood that the universe is not made out of two realms. It's actually one realm. Everything is energy. Well, of course, now as you're sitting there looking around your world, sitting on a seat, seeing everything that's physical in your room, this is going to be a very difficult insight at this moment, because actually, there is no such thing as matter. And we're going to go into that because obviously that is a very difficult thing to take into your life and go, really? I'm in a physical world? I say, no, you're in an energy world. And the significance of this was back even in 1927, quantum physicists understood as one of the first principles of quantum physics that consciousness is what is creating our life experiences. It's our mind and our thoughts that are creating the world. Well, important understanding of that is, well, if it's our mind and our thoughts, then we're the ones that can change our mind, change our thoughts, and change our perception of the world. I go, precisely. It takes us from being what we might consider victims of a world out of control into a world where we actually have an input to manifest what we are wishing for and what we're desiring. And this is what this whole program is about, is to return that power to you, the ability to manifest and create your life.
Wow, so amazing. Can you believe that you get this incredible masterclass and so many others, and Ting Ting's masterclass coming up, all for the same price? It's like insane. I can't even believe it. I mean, what an amazing teacher and teaching. So thank you so much for sharing, Jim, and sharing, Heather. And Abbie, I was wondering if you could share some of your Humanities Stream Plus favorites.
Yes, I'm a creative person. My background's in theater, outside of my professional life, but I'm a glass artist. I love anything creative. And Barnett Bain and I believe it's James Twyman have a Mastering Creativity class, which I am intending to take because I sometimes get stuck on feeling like I am not a creative person, which is really kind of the opposite of my identity. And that's because I run out of ideas of things that I want to, make. And I think there's more to it than I'm allowing myself to dream of. And I think so. I'm looking forward to taking that class in particular. Barnett was just on our humanities team live events in September, and there's a free podcast on there on our website if anybody's curious about that you can dip your toe into that with him also.
Oh, thanks so much for sharing. And I didn't really know about that one. So
It's
I'm excited to learn too.
He is. So if anybody doesn't know Barnett, he's an amazing filmmaker, and just look at his name on the internet and you'll learn more about him. But I'm very excited to have access to someone as skilled as him. So yeah.
Wonderful. And what about Deborah Poneman's course?
Oh, golly, the Seeds of Happiness, or living a life beyond being happy. Again, this is a class I'm very curious about because I sometimes think, how can I be so happy? And I feel almost like a blank slate. And I'm 60 years old. Part of it's just the joy of working with Humanities Team because I joined the team this past year after living a life in corporate America. And like Steve, it's just been a complete game changer for me to be living a life consciously with intent. So Deborah's class really appeals to me because I want to get beyond being happy. There's more to it than that. So
amazing. And then Heather, I really appreciate you sharing, Abbie. It's great. It's great to hear what you're loving on Humanities Stream Plus. And Heather, you mentioned one of your favorites was Suzanne Geisman. What was the class that you liked on her?
I don't remember the name, but it was talking about, bringing your intuitive gifts into the world. Like, who's got the name?
Well,
who's got the name?
So you can put that, if you're a Humanities Stream Plus member, you can put Suzanne Geisman into the search function and all of her courses will come up if you spell her name right. So we have a clip. Oh, look, Andy just put it in. Thank you, Andy. So we do have a clip from her masterclass as well and course. So go ahead and you can play that clip.
We've come to know that death is not the end and that we are souls. So when I say to you, you are not only human, I hope that causes you to say, then what am I? And the answer is a soul, but so much more than that. Because souls, like humans, seem to be individual, separate things, and we are not things at all. Whether human in what we call physical form, or a soul as a spacious expression of energy and information, we are all expressions of the one field of being, one light, one source that expresses itself through limitless numbers of souls who then express themselves as individuated expressions of consciousness that we call human beings. All of this has been taught to me by tapping into that innate intelligence that is our birthright as souls. So you are not only human is the first thing to understand.
Well, that's so inspiring. I had the opportunity to see her live here in Colorado and Denver. So that was amazing to
We
meet
wanted to
her.
go to that. How was it?
Oh, it was so amazing. There
I'm
was
so
there
bummed
was
we should
only
have gone.
about 50 people in the audience, and it was just incredible. Yeah, you saw that advertised. That's wonderful. And then there's also some incredible content on Humanities Stream Plus with Greg Braden. He's got a great 5-year guide to your future. Does anyone have any comments about that, Andy, or do you have any?
I do. It's one of my faves. It's a really good one. I'm going to turn off my camera preemptively.
Okay.
Um, it is phenomenal. Greg really goes into a lot of detail. Like it's kind of astounding how much ground he covers in that program. Everything from, and it was simultaneously like a wake up call and super reassuring. Like one of the things that's really stuck with me is he talks a lot about like alternative agriculture, like vertical farming, utilizing different ways of reclaiming space, and it's just super cool about talking about how we are going to interact with the world in the future, because humanity is changing and the way we live is changing, and it's just about building community and building up own personal resilience. It's a really phenomenal program. His free program, Surviving to Thriving, I'll make sure that gets into the chat. That is like a really great jumping off point, even if you don't take the full masterclass. The full masterclass, so worth it though. Yeah, he really put his all into that program. It's a remarkable program.
Okay, I'm going to have to check that out because I love his wisdom and how he integrates spirituality with technology. And he's such a futurist. It's just what a brilliant mind. And we have him here on Humanities Stream. So thank you for sharing that, Andy. And just, do you have any closing thoughts, Andy, as we go into 2024?
Yeah, I will just say that I think that this year is going to be really important and it's going to be really empowering. And I'm really grateful for everyone that's here on the journey that is committed to living a life that they really feel excited about and building a beautiful planet and future with each other. Yeah, just feeling really excited, feeling hopeful.
Wonderful. Well, I just got a message from the tech team that we do have a clip of Greg Braden. So yeah, depending on how long it is, if we have a quick one, maybe we have a moment to play a minute 25. Sure. Go ahead.
It actually is a misnomer in the question, meaning that there is no such thing that we've been able to observe as empty space. And so nothing like that has ever been found, and we've looked, like for instance, if you think of the largest vacuum we know of, for instance, the space between galaxies, well, even in that space, you find there's particles every few centimeters, right? So it's actually quite full. But if you were to look at the quantum space, right, like the space in the atom, for instance, where the atom is made out of 99.9999% space. So like all of your reality, all of the things you call things, are actually made out of space. Well, when you look at that space, it's not empty at all. It's full of energy. It's full of fluctuation, electromagnetic fluctuation.
Well, we like hearing from Nassim Harriman as well as Greg. Well, they partnered together. So he's obviously interviewing experts and he also has a very brilliant mind, but you get to hear all these other experts as well. And what about you, Abbie? Any closing thoughts for 2024?
Yes.
Well, I like to think about what Steve Farrell, our co-founder, likes to say, and that living a conscious life is like being up on a raft above all of the problems of the world, in the sense that we remember that we are all connected, we are all one with each other. And I love the access we have to these remarkable programs. For those who may be listening on our viewing room, if you don't have a subscription to Stream Plus, it's worth every dollar. There's just such a wide variety of transformational education available there, and I have only just started to tap into it, and my life is already just so much ease is the word that comes to mind for me. That it's like building up your resilience also to what we have to all struggle with, which is a very complex world. So I'm a big believer in transformational education.
Wonderful. We're so happy that you're here, Abbie.
Thank
And
you.
Heather, any closing thoughts?
You know, Abbie just said it beautifully. Like if I had a mic right now, I would just drop it. Like that was just
Seriously.
perfect. So, I mean, nothing more than what, I mean, you know, the sense of joy, it's so much different feeding your soul. You know, it's so easy to just like Netflix and chill, but then to actually just feed your soul with this stuff and learn and expand, and it does. It takes your life to another level. You know, we've had one of the toughest years we've had this last year, and we've up leveled in a way that I'm not sure either one of us kind of knew was possible at the time. But I know a lot of it had to do with a lot of the courses and a lot of the foundations that we had put down. So again, don't dismiss the simplicity of some of the work and the teachings, because it really is where the magic is.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And what's coming to me is strength and perseverance. So, having that be your motto for 2024, if it resonates with you. And thank you, everyone, for joining me, Heather, Abbie, and Andy. And if you're not a member yet, I would highly encourage you to join. Make 2024 the best year. And I also wanted to thank our production team, Jim Gray, Garth Catterall, Dee Meyer, and just the rest of Humanity's team. It's been such a pleasure connecting with all of you, and many blessings on your journey.